Here is a quick peek of the partial and then total eclipse that you'll see more fully in the video ahead, but first, the setup. Alright, I'm going to show you my setup for photographing the solar eclipse, August 21st, 2017. We are just east of Mitchell, Oregon. And so I am using an Orion 1000 millimeter scope and Sony a6300 camera on an equatorial mount, so it's tracking the sun. You can see the sun there in the viewfinder, and it does a remarkably good job of keeping the sun in the same spot, hopefully for the entire duration of this time lapse, which will be approximately 2 3/4 hours. I'm using a Genie Mini as my intervalometer to tell the camera to do an exposure every 5 seconds. I'm using 350th of a second as my exposure time frame. I have 2 additional cameras back here, a GoPro for video during the total eclipse phase, 10 minutes on each side, and then a time-lapse GoPro over here for recording the entire event. And at precisely 10:13, I'm going to send the drone up and have it be stationary to do a video of the total solar eclipse that will span hopefully 7 or 8 minutes on each side of the eclipse, and hopefully capture the moon's shadow as it moves across the landscape. Here I have my computer set up because I have 6 pages of notes detailing exactly the time frame that I have to do various things, and this is helpful just to kind of get organized. All right, as you can see, it is clicking away every 5 seconds, doing an exposure. We haven't started the partial eclipse yet, which will actually be in a couple days. This is a test run that I'm doing today, full test run through the entire process. The tricky part is going to be the conversion from the partial eclipse to the total eclipse, which will last 2 minutes and 4 seconds. And I need to do some things like removing the filter from the telescope, the solar filter, changing the exposure on the camera from 350th of a second to 60th of a second, and I'm doing a bracketed exposure of 5 shots, 3 EV on each side of each shot. So that should give me some good, really good effect of the corona of the sun. And then those will ultimately be merged into an HDR image for that total eclipse phase. And then of course I have to, just before the total eclipse ends, I need to put the filter back on, change the shutter speed, change the drive mode of the camera, and reactivate the time lapse for the back end of the partial eclipse. So it's quite an endeavor, and then I have to bring the drone down 7 minutes after the total eclipse ends, and so there's quite a few things going on, especially during that total eclipse phase. These are the Painted Hills, which are located in the John Day Fossil Beds National Monument in Oregon. On the day of the eclipse, thousands of people showed up since this was right on the center line. Today is August 21st, 2017, the day of the total solar eclipse. Let's get started. It's 9:06 a.m., August 21st, 1 minute away from the partial solar eclipse beginning. I was totally mesmerized by this partial eclipse, and I was very happy that my equipment tracked the sun so precisely that allowed me to create this time lapse and have it be a smooth motion video. The time is 10:11. In exactly 2 minutes, we send the drones up to photograph the moon's shadow going across the landscape. Okay, we're getting there. It's almost there. You ready to press your button? Totality now.
Whoa! Oh my God, it's dark. Did you push my button?
Yeah! Oh, look at it now. Take off your glasses.
Whoa.
That is so trippy. Okay.
Woo!
Okay. Filter.
Right at 45.
Filter.
Fucking wow.
Oh, the camera can't get it.
Whoa!
2 minutes.
Oh, look at those.
Sweet.
Oh my God. Is your drone affected by the dark?
I'll go look at what it looks like.
Oh, that looks awesome.
Do you see those pictures?
Drop my glasses in all the excitement. Whoa. Oh, that's so cool.
This is what the drone saw as the moon began to eclipse the sun. The landscape turned dark and then completely black. You can see the lights on the horizon beginning to look very sunsetish. Stars begin to appear, but I was too excited with watching the total eclipse to pay attention to that.
Wow, looks like it's coming back already. Yep, there goes my timer.
Okay, we got time. I'll tell you when.
All right, I'm just gonna grab it.
Oh, it's starting to come already.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, now, no, put it on.
I am.
Okay.
Can you that filter back on?
Yeah. After the amazing total eclipse, the partial eclipse begins, and each side of the partial eclipse is about an hour and 25 minutes in duration. I'm taking shots, thousands of shots at 5-second intervals, and later combining them into a video, which is a time lapse.
Oh my gosh, you guys!
We did it!
Cool.
Here's some video shot as the drone was returning to camp. And as you can see, this is just minutes after the solar total eclipse had finished, and you can see that there are people streaming out of the area. Here's our campground, which is BLM property, right by a stream. Very nice setup. We met 4 like-minded adventurers who joined Corrine and I in our solar eclipse tribe, and it was wonderful to share this experience with them.